It's the terror of asking, what the hell do we do now? An injured Caitlin Clark saying, good luck now. The basketball goal gets higher and higher. Pressure on people, mainly Angel.
The WNBA, man, is the gift that keeps on giving. The drama never stops. And the drama is now in Chicago at full bore. I'll share this with you right. In the meeting, Reese placed an emphasis on her frustration with teammates as well as the coaches, going as far to say, I can't handle these expletives who put themselves before the team. I can only presume that is, I can't handle these, but it's damn sure not a nice word.
Angel Reese said she was a draw. The following week, tickets to her game became cheaper than a Chipotle bowl. Welcome to the WNBA's newest nightmare. Caitlin Clark is out, and the league's marketing fantasy just crash-landed into cold, brutal reality. Without Clark, Angel Reese ain't selling out anything except excuses.
And fever, Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, that is the marquee matchup in the WNBA, and those tickets are crashing just as well. From $86 48 hours ago to $25. And by the time June 7th rolls around, it might cost you a bag of Skittles and some Lay's potato chips to get.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have ourselves a meltdown. A full-fledged, lights on, camera rolling, why are the stands empty? Angel Reese implosion. And it all comes down to one name, Caitlin Clark, or more accurately, the absence of Caitlin Clark. And for Angel Reese, who's been parading around like she's the face of the league, this was supposed to be her moment. But what did we get? Nothing but empty seats.
Earlier, these WNBA franchises that moved games like the Chicago Sky to the United Arena, you're screwed. You're done. You're cooked.
Let's talk numbers, because they don't lie. Before Clark's injury, the Chicago Sky were riding the Clark wave like the rest of the league. Games featuring the Fever were hot commodities, selling out arenas and pushing resale prices into NBA territory. But once Clark was ruled out, boom, the average ticket price for the Sky vs. Fever game in the massive United Center fell from $86 to $25. That's a 71% drop, people.
There is a state of emergency in the WNBA right now. Their only star, their cash cow, the only player capable of capturing interest from people who aren't identifying as they, them. Caitlin Clark is out for a minimum of 2 weeks and possibly longer with a quad strain.
In Angel's own home turf, prices dropped from $41 to $22. This isn't some isolated pricing glitch. This is a full-blown collapse in demand the moment Caitlin Clark left the scene. And here's the brutal truth. Angel Reese couldn't stop the bleeding. Despite all the marketing muscle, all the TikTok traction, all the quotes and chest beating, Reese hasn't delivered when it counts.
People are desperately trying to recoup some of the money they paid for these tickets. Without Caitlin Clark playing, you can get in the building for less than $30.
On the court, Angel is not producing at the level fans were led to expect. As of now, she's ranked number 52 in league scoring. That's right, 52. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark, who's been getting mugged by defenders since tip-off of Game 1, sits comfortably at number 8.
For Angel Reese to sit here and say, I can't handle these expletives who put themselves before the team. You're talking about a player who chose to go to the Met Gala and miss practice during the preseason rather than be with her team.
And to make matters worse, Angel isn't taking this well. According to sources and fan clips from recent practices, she's been visibly frustrated, increasingly emotional, and downright fiery behind closed doors. One viral video even shows her shouting in the locker room, gesturing to staff and teammates after another game failed to crack 70% attendance.
Maybe I just don't get it, but after a while, you say to yourself, come on, Angel, not every single time.
The whispers say she's furious, not just at the empty seats, but at the narrative, at the idea that she was supposed to fill the Clark void and simply couldn't. Can you blame her? She was fed the idea that she was the moment, that her college stardom, her NIL empire, her millions of followers would all translate into WNBA dominance. But here's the kicker. This isn't Instagram. This is pro basketball. And while social metrics are nice, fans pay to watch greatness, not social media sound bites and missed layups.
433. Let's get it. Only lost by 25 this time. Bang! That stuffer coming hot with the stats. She went 0 of 8, 5 turnovers, and she got 1 hit stick. Bang! She had 12 rebounds. 8 of them were the me-bounds, if you know what I'm saying. All right, let's get it going. How about it? Bang! Again, there's another me-bound. Let's do it again. Bang! Another me-bound. Do it again. Bang!
Oh, and let's not forget, this isn't just a Chicago problem. The Fever's next 5 games, without Clark, average ticket price dropped from $137 to $80.
Guys, today the WNBA without Caitlin Clark remains an attraction that not many people average. Last Friday, Sun, Lynx, Storm, Mercury, WNBA regular season games averaged 431,000 and 344,000 viewers respectively on Ion, both down sharply from last year's window of Fever Sparks that gave you 720.
A 42% decline league-wide, all because one player, not the rookies, not the rising stars, but Caitlin Clark isn't on the court. If that doesn't scream dominance, I don't know what does.
There's a little bit of everything. I mean, she has been the impact of the league. She has been the reason why they've sell out arenas, having to move to a bigger arena, season tickets, TV rights, chartered planes, just the viewership. I mean, it just goes on and on.
Indiana Fever ticket prices to games over the next 2 weeks have dropped 42% since Caitlin Clark's injury announcement. An average ticket price of $137 all the way down to $80. People are selling their tickets, definitely can't get face value, so what do? They just continue to lower and lower and lower and lower and lower the price. This isn't all resellers, folks. Hate to break it to you. A majority of these are everyday normal people.
The WNBA's grand plan to diversify the spotlight and hype up Reese as a code draw hasn't worked at all. Angel is visible, sure, but being visible isn't the same as being valuable when it comes to putting butts in seats. And this latest ticket nosedive has revealed the uncomfortable reality the league's been trying to avoid. There is no replacing Caitlin Clark.
And no one, I mean no one, is paying to see Angel Reese attempt to play basketball. Hell, not even Mama Reese is paying to watch this lack of skill. My inside sources are telling me that Mama Reese demands free tickets. The Chicago Bravado, they happily oblige because they're also giving away free tickets to the other dozen or so people that show up to the arena.
Reese can't deliver the goods, and she knows it. That's why she's lashing out. In post-game pressers, her tone has shifted. She's visibly more defensive, more agitated. Gone is the confident Bayou Barbie persona, replaced with someone who seems genuinely rattled by the narrative slipping out of her control.
Man, we were told so much last year that this was a player that was on the level of Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark has a bad day, goes 11, 6, and 4, foul trouble. Angel Reese on the same day has the worst day of her life. The worst day of her professional career, the worst day of her college career, the worst day probably she's ever played probably played since she was.
Angel may be marketable, Angel might be charismatic, but fans aren't shelling out hundreds for vibes. They want results, they want production, they want to see someone who can dominate a game, not just dominate a trending topic. And the league, they better take note, because this whole debacle is more than just Angel Reese's personal reckoning. It's a flashing red warning light for how fragile their business model really is.
With Caitlin Clark injured, the WNBA will be reliant on their other stars to carry the league. I'm not just talking about ratings, I'm not just talking about attendance. The WNBA will be reliant on their other stars to maintain the interest of the mainstream. With Angel Reese being the only player with mainstream name recognition, most of the pressure, it is going to be on her to perform. And we have plenty of evidence that proves Angel Reese is not qualified to.
That's right. If we have learned anything so far in the WNBA, it is that Angel Reese is nowhere near Caitlin Clark, whether we talk about the ratings, popularity, or just pure skill. And if your entire ecosystem, which consists of ticket prices, ratings, merchandise, attendance hinges on one player, and your backup plan is already buckling under pressure, you don't have a league built for the future. You have a time bomb. And now that Caitlin's out, that bomb is ticking loudly. massively.
Okay, they have the highest audience they've seen in 24 seasons in the WNBA games. Televised games with Caitlin Clark's Indiana Fever averaged 1.18 million viewers compared to 394,000 for all other games. There were a record 22 games that averaged over 1 million viewers, 19 of which involved Caitlin. So, I mean, you'd think they'd be saying thank you. They're not saying.
You can't fake star power, you can't manufacture gravity, and you definitely can't force the crowd to care just because someone's loud on social media. Angel Reese may be a household name, but until she backs it up with top-tier performance, she won't be the one carrying this league. Not now, maybe not ever.
Even though the mainstream media wants us to believe that Angel Reese is a huge star, we have years of evidence that proves otherwise. Like I say all the time, there is a huge difference between a star and a draw. You can be a star, you can be famous, and still not be able to draw flies to a fresh.
Angel Reese is now at a crossroads. She can either respond to this wake-up call by leveling up, focusing on her game, and proving she belongs in that top 10 conversation, or she can keep spiraling by blaming the media, snapping at teammates, and waiting for the day the league stops pretending she's the next big thing.
And, well, now might be the time to hit the panic button 48 hours after news hits that Caitlin Clark is injured and she'll be missing 2 weeks. The market has responded and the market has told the WNBA, we don't want this.
Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark is recovering, and with every empty seat, every discounted ticket, and every awkward press conference, the league is learning the hard way just how valuable she really is.
She's great at creating stories. She knows how to manipulate the media. Girl, if this dump don't give me a raise, I'll refuse to play. Angel Reese and the WNBA have been using race to bring awareness to an incredibly bad product. Once you remove Caitlin Clark from the equation, there's no reason for people to watch this league, which is why people haven't been watching Angel Reese throughout her career.
Caitlin Clark had dragged her team from irrelevance to the national spotlight, selling out arenas, breaking viewership records, and carrying the WNBA on her shoulders. She is not the golden child by accident. She's earned it. Meanwhile, Angel Reese? She's riding the wave of a single NCAA tournament moment like it's a forever free pass. When's the last time she played a game and didn't use it as a platform for drama?
These prices are going to continue to drop. People might be saying, oh, well, the teams aren't really going to suffer. They already sold the tickets. No. You don't understand. If the Chicago Sky moved into the United Center, and let's say resale-wise, they sold all 19,000, well, when only 9,000 to 10,000 show up, they're losing merchandise sales, they're losing food sales, they're losing beverage sales, they're losing.
Going into 2025, Angel Reese had the stage. For once, there were no distractions, no shared spotlight, no viral Caitlin Clark moments soaking up the oxygen. With the launch of Unrivaled, Reese was positioned as the solo star. No Caitlin Clark, no dueling headlines, no Bayou Barbie versus the Queen of Threes. Just Angel. And what did the numbers say? 221,000 viewers. That's it. That's the big draw. Give me a break. That's more humiliating than a birthday suit.
Big. They took a big gamble to get into that arena, and they're losing big because it's not going to be full, and those people aren't going to be buying things.
And if you're the WNBA, you can only bury that truth under engagement numbers and growth metrics for so long. Eventually, the raw viewership data tells the truth, and the truth is this. Without Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese can't carry a broadcast. Let's be honest, Caitlin Clark is the real deal. She's physical, she's fearless, and she's earned every accolade. Angel Reese, on the other hand, she might be charismatic, but she's not a draw. And until her fans and the WNBA's top brass wake up to reality, their takes will stay what they are, hollow noise.
This poor young woman has dealt with a lot of bullshit. She's underappreciated. She has been physically attacked on the court. She's been criticized by her colleagues and the media. They have attributed her success to her skin color instead of her charisma and her drawing power.
If the WNBA hasn't figured it out by now, Caitlin Clark isn't just the star. She's the sun. Everyone else? They're just orbiting. Even Angel, or should I say, especially Angel. So what do you think? Tell us no in the comments, and thanks for watching.